Thank you. Thank you. Let's get over here to, so audience building specifically, what I want to get into is, have you noticed the shift that I have been working since late November? And even if you didn't notice it as I say it now, if you're like, oh, yeah, sending more emails have been about, hey, I'm about to go live, going live more on YouTube, a lot more. I mean, because it's been a ghost town for a while for me specifically. If you're on my texting app, I've been texting, hey, I'm going to go live. At Discord, I've been saying, hey, I'm going to go live. So I've been pinging the various places. I even mentioned it at Blue Sky, which is the newest place that I've been spending time social media wise. I have been getting that muscle back for going live, specifically because um, let me let me let me go over to my new tab file, new tab, and let's go to YouTube. There we go. Yeah, Bonnie spontaneous. That is a word that rarely goes with Bonnie. So I will take it. Yes, that is a new muscle. That is me living my North Node in Pisces reality. I am preparing for my nodal return. This is all part of the plan. So in the specific, so nope, we don't need that. I don't know why that auto plays. I have autoplay disabled everywhere and it always wants to give me that. All right, so if I go to live and I take a look at the latest, these are scheduled ones. I am getting specifically geared up toward this Use Your Moons demo that I did 3 weeks ago. This is the one that kicked us off, because as you can see before that, it was 2 months ago that I did the Essential Dignities one, and it was 4 months ago that I did the Finish Him Transit and the good and bad of each sign. And before that, it was a year ago that I did the, like, let's set everybody up on the life car, and a year ago that I did an eclipse from 2023. Okay, so it's like, it's been a while. And then you start seeing me going boom, 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 and scheduled. Okay. And if you go to my events page, you'll see that I actually have several scheduled still January, February. And today, one of my tasks is to get March and April planned out. So it looks spontaneous, but I know that that's when I'm going to go live. I just may not give a lot of notice about it because it doesn't really matter. And this is the part that I want to underscore. Audience building is not about the result that comes in the doing of the thing now. It is, what is the residual effect of you having created with that energy a thing for people to come to? So as I just came over here to YouTube, you see I've got a 4 on that notification. Every one of these notifications is going to be someone commenting on the numerology live stream, which was the last one that I did. And all of these comments have come in because people in the numerology live stream, I was doing a give me your number and I'll tell you what this is. Give me your number and I'll tell you what this is. And then as soon as I had enough that we had done all the numbers at least one time, I didn't need to do anybody else live. But if you're the kind of person who's like, yeah, I don't want to apply what you said to that person to me. I want you to do me, which is a very human need. Do me, do me, do me. They're driving my comments up, which is driving up the visibility of that live stream replay in other people's recommendations. And then that just continues to build, build, build. And so today also on my calendar is to go in and answer all those comments so people feel rewarded for having brought comments over there. And in fact, someone who emailed in and said, can you please do my numbers? And someone who texted in and said, oh, I missed you in the live stream. Here are my numbers. Both got the reply, please bring your question over to the live stream so that my answer can help everybody who reads the comments, slash, so it helps bring people to the live stream. And that is one of the boundaries that I have set with my audience, is no inbox coaching, no text coaching, no inbox coaching. Obviously, if you're a coaching client, we can be a little wiggle room with that rule, but that boundary helps me a great deal because it means that when you have a question for me, if you ask it in a place that helps build my audience, my answering you is a part of my investment in advertising that I answer people's questions and people come to me to get those answers. And so as I am showing you my audience building tactics over the past couple of months, I want you to keep in mind that there are many, 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 many spokes to this wheel. And it is not just oh, I wanted to get back on YouTube because I need to get my YouTube going. And the YouTube going will help the things. It's like, no, the YouTube going feeds the machine that is audience building, and it does so in myriad ways. So specifically, this this increase that's happened right here, where I did a live demo of Use Your Moons. This is something that took the actual teach of this took about 50 minutes, and my goal is to get it down to a half hour. And this is where I used my overhead camera and did a color coding of the December and January calendars for how you can figure out what the energy is. You don't need the chart harmony calendar. You don't need the aligned hustle calendar. You can do this yourself. And in that demo, even though it was the first time I was doing it this style, it was clunky, it was long. And there were moments where I went, oh, no, I don't want to do that part. Never mind, I'm not doing that. Like you would say it was rough. It was definitely not a polished ad for working with Bonnie Gillespie. The day of that live demo, I got emails from multiple people saying, can you just do it for me? Can you just do my calendar? Like, can you provide me with for me, this is what this looks like. And I said to each of them, I don't actually offer a done calendar like that. What I do offer is you do coaching with me, and in our sessions, we do your calendar together, specifically with an eye toward the things that you want to make happen. And that's me knowing that I do best when I get to air sign things out. So yes, I could go into the creative cave and go into Canva and build the thing, but I experimented with that in 2023, 2024, and that was called the Planet Planner. And what I learned was, yes, I can do this. And yes, it's amazing, but and it is a bigger energetic load than it pays me for it to be. And the live one-on-ones, even though using that triangle that we've used before of you have offers that up the triangle, you get to a point of, well, I can't do anything else while I'm doing this thing that's up at the top of the triangle, that hierarchy of progressive offers. When we're doing that thing at the very top, that one-on-one time, we can't be doing anything else. So it's got to be expensive. But doing that creates the kind of momentum with that person that then they are going to say yes to a Live Your Chart membership, because then it makes it so when we work one-on-one, it's faster, it's easier. I don't have to explain a lot of things. And I'm always trying to steer people into a Live Your Chart membership, because that's going to happen whether you're in it or not. And having people in something that's already going is something that helps me financially build all the other things that I want. Okay, so I'm showing you the layers. During this particular live demo that happened at the end of November, early December. Yes, December, I think it was like December 10th, 11th, 12th, somewhere in there. The early double digits of December. When that demo happened, my inbox got filled with people saying, will you do it for me? When I wrote back to people and said, here's how to do the version where you work with me one-on-one, and then as a part of that coaching, we will do this with you and your specific chart together. Several of the people who wrote in and then got that answer went on that day or before the end of the year to purchase a one-on-one package with me that's 11.11 and 11 cents. And so here at the end of the year, we got a few $1,000 boost that we were not anticipating, because I didn't do any kind of selling for any kind of product in the year-end webinar. And that's usually the thing that helps us have a year-end financial shift. So the reason I'm sharing all of this when it comes to audience building is, in addition to the audience building, helping you connect with your audience for your book, it also can, if you have a membership or a coaching tier or something that you do that is interactive or higher level on that progressive offers hierarchy, your audience building is helping you do that as well. Now, what does this have to do with my book? Every single one of these is an ad for the book that I have coming out this year, because every time I go live, someone says, how can I work with you? And whether they end up working with me or not, the fact that that is the question that comes off these live streams tells me this is working to get people asking the question, how do I get into your world more? And that's where using the description of the YouTube videos becomes so important. So let me show you, for example, this one that is not related to this current campaign that I've got going. One of the things that I've got here, there we go. You'll notice is I edit the description of the video right away, as soon as it's possible, as soon as there are chapters. I go, scroll down for time code. And I also in this one had glitchy audio until 2:45. So I want to make sure that that's visible before you hit more on the description. So anybody who's quick to run away on this live stream replay is able to say, oh, no, wait, the audio improves. And technically, if I really cared, I would just edit the first 2:45 out of this, which I can do at YouTube, but I'm not going to edit school. I like to include all my glitches, and y'all that's part of my brand. It works. Okay. So little blurb about what I'm doing, and then the time code. The reason this is so important is because all of these juicy phrases are Google SEO gold. These phrases get Google going, ooh, we can send somebody to her YouTube video to get information about this phrase. And we own YouTube, so why would we want to do anything other than send people over to YouTube to watch a video at a place that we not only own, but can run lots of ads and people get lost and spend hours and hours and hours. So in an era while Google is no longer prioritizing search results / SEO, which I'll explain in a minute, having a YouTube presence has just become more important than ever. And having a YouTube presence that still feeds the Google machine is the way to take advantage of how Google is still working. And I'll get into that when I get back to my slides in a moment. I'm realizing I'm out of my little there. Sorry, I was a little out of the frame for a sec. Okay, there, much more better. All right, so then here's more text that explains what this is, but then also says, if you're brand new to astrology, go over to Bonnie's Teachable. Here's a link to the free intake teach. It's not even a webinar. It's not a replay of a live stream. It is an actual, here's a workbook, here are slides, and here's audio that I recorded like Naomi in the middle of the night so that people could do the course on their own timeline and at their own pace. That is this What Your Birthday Says About You, which is which is the main thing that brings people into my teachable world. And once someone is in my teachable world, they're gonna go look at all the other things that I do. But this is the one that is the point of entry. And this year, I'm committing to it out loud. I've already committed to it in my notes over here local, and my team knows this. But in 2025, I am resetting my this is the must do intro video at my Teachable, because it's been What Your Birthday Says About You since 2020. And it is time to, if not, and I have, by the way, I've re-recorded it multiple times since 2020, but I've always continued to use What Your Birthday Says About You. And it's very, cookbook, Mad Libs. And I now want to do a version that is more life car focused and helps people get more into the chart harmony color coding faster. So that is something that I'll be doing this year. Okay. But because during this live stream, we talked about supporting your Venus, there's a link to 44 Days with Venus, and I'm going to give you a code to get half off. So now I have added a tripwire ad in my description of a live stream. So again, did the live stream and none of this was here. After the live stream is over, I go in and edit this description to make it SEO gold, to, yes, create the time code. Kathy, there is a way to let Google do that for you, let YouTube set what the chapters are. And I have let YouTube do that when I haven't worried about it, didn't want to bother finding it for myself, wasn't too concerned about the replay value, because it's going to get stuff wrong and it's going to set chapters where I didn't mean for them to. But in general, if I care about this live stream and see it as an ad, I am going to go through and mark that time code. I've also had people help me do it during the live stream. I've said, can someone keep up with when, like at what time I get to each sign? And that is really helpful. If I know I'm going to be doing something that's like, we're going to cover all 12 signs, I'm going to ask people to put in the chat when I get to Aries, put into chat when I get to Taurus, put into chat, which also, of course, gets your live stream recommended in more places because it's got more active chat during it. So all, like, it looks like it's fun and cheering. It's also helping me time code. So those are different little ways you can treat it. The deep dive of decans that's going on at Revisioning is something that I'm pointing people to as well for a low cost point of entry. No one seems to prioritize this. People are not into revisioning as much as I think they should be. That's fine. I'm about to be doing a live stream that is decans based and a series of decans based Instagram goodies and things that I know people are going to eat up, because when we did the decans live stream a couple weeks ago, people were just all over it. And that is going to help me feed people into more decans based work and understanding of it. Then, of course, I include tools that are not my own, because Google likes it when you're not just promoting yourself, but you're showing that you share links that are relevant for lots of reasons and not just to your own site. And so then down here, the key moments that exist in these thumbnails match these time code pieces that I did right here. And so again, if I had let Google do it, if I'd let YouTube use Google to do it, it would be based on, it would still use these images, but it would be images based on what it decided is important. And so I knew I want people to be able to take screen grabs of all 5 pages. They're going to come use this, and I can go to the analytics and see, oh, that is a keeper right there. Anytime I'm holding something up and going, screen grab, y'all, screen grab, y'all. Oh man, that is a moment. And you want those, because remember, YouTube wants you to help them keep people on YouTube. And so anything you can do that helps them stay on YouTube with your work, or the things that start getting recommended in the sidebar they want to do. Okay, so no comments on this one, which is fine. I don't really worry about that too much. But if it is something like the numerology one that just happened and I've got people commenting, I have to go answer those comments, because that is part of how I keep that asset up at the top of Google and YouTube. So any questions about the YouTube part specifically before I go back to my slides to show y'all the next thing that I want you to consider? Okay. All right. So decan, the decans are the 10-degree units within each sign, within each house, that are ruled by different signs / planets. So if I were to go into my astrology software and change what I show to decans, did you see that change? Those decans are, you could see the little planets in there. And so in Revisioning, which is my most affordable monthly membership, it's like $22 a month. We meet specifically to do a deep dive on a sign. And we did a year where we did it through the vision board party lens. And then at Sagittarius season, we started over, because we started doing it during Sagittarius season 2023, and we started doing decans. And so we've done the Capricorn one, and the next one will be the Aquarius one, where we're going to spend an entire hour and a half or 75 minutes going through what the differences are between the three types of Aquarius, using the Decan rulership. It is awesome. It is so much fun. It is so much fun. Anyway, but so that's that. All right. And that is a really easy tripwire sale to pitch during a live stream, because I'm not saying come over to my world where you can spend $88 a month to live your chart. I'm going, oh, I have a $22 a month membership that does a deep dive, and it's small enough that everybody gets hot seat time. Everybody gets their chart on screen, and we look at what they have in their chart that speaks to this that we're doing this month. So, and as long as I can keep saying that as a selling point for that membership, I'm going to. Because again, anything I'm already doing and making money for doing, I want more people to come to that rather than me having to create a new thing or doing the work one-on-one. Also, it's not because I don't enjoy one-on-one. It's because one-on-one is a very specific kind of buyer, and it is someone who has committed at a very different financial level than most of the YouTube visitors. So we want, what is the thing that's going to be a tripwire? Another of my goals for first quarter 2025 is to have a collection of on-demand tripwire purchasing things at my Flowdesk site, at my Interactivity of Flowdesk site. Those of you in JFDI again are going to get a good look at this week when we do our JFDI meeting. That is oh, I'm in the middle of a live stream. And if you want that, like instead of it being go take my 44 days with Venus, it's going to be, oh, I have the tip sheet for people who have oh, you've got Mars in Cancer like I do. I've got your tip sheet right over here. And it's going to go to Flowdesk for a tripwire, like $10, $11, probably $11.11, because angel numbers, we love those, purchase. And that tripwire gets people from I'm your fan, give me more free things, into I have now spent money, and it is a different relationship and an ability to see, do they want to continue up that progressive offers hierarchy? And the reason all of this ties into the book that I have coming out is because every single one of these YouTube experiences becomes an opportunity for people to use my book as the tripwire purchase that brings them into the universe of all, or the Boniverse of all the offerings. Right. Boniverse is not mine. My team came up with that and I love it. So why not use it? All right. So back to this dude here. Google's new mission in the era of AI is keep people on Google. It is not give people the results that they just asked for when they Googled and let them go to that site, which has been Google's mission for the past 20, 25 years. That has been the point of all search engines for all time of the internet, is don't give people the answer. It's give them the link to the place where the answer came from so they can learn more there, because Google is meant to help people find what they're looking for. It is the white pages, the yellow pages, it is, I want to find a site. How do I get there? And Google's new mission has become make our AI so good at answering what your question, what your Google is actually asking, that you stay on Google and keep interacting with our AI to go deeper using all the content that we are mining, because we got so good at finding all the best information. So we are now, as I've always said, we are not Google's customers. We are their product. And that is true at Facebook, that is true at Twitter, that is true at like anywhere that we use for free. We are not their customers, we are their product. And they will always find a way to sell us in the ways that need to be sold. Facebook being ads-based, of course. Of course. Like the reason that Facebook made comments nested. Do you remember when there was a time that you would leave a comment on somebody on Facebook and it would be comment, 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 just one. And then there was a time that it started being nested under so you could reply. Like, by the way, Zoom has made it, and you'll notice I never use the nested reply in Zoom. You may have caught that. Why does Bonnie not use that? Because it is assholery on the part of the designer of the technology, meant to make us more addicted to the way they want us to communicate. It is also to help train their AI. This response is actually to that thing that happened up there. And I say, no, I'm not helping you with that. I'm not helping you with that. I'm going to do my comment right out here on main. And the humans are going to know I'm referencing a thing that was said 3 things ago, but the AI can't figure that out. I have always on Facebook avoided nested replies because nested replies get lost, but also more importantly, nested replies are the thing that helps Facebook sell access by ads, because they're able to say, this is a group that gets this many clicks. Well, what are the clicks doing? The clicks are see more, expand, see more, reveal all the reply. All of those clicks get sold as this is good advertising data. And it's actually not. It just means that people are finding a more sticky way to keep us on their site. Okay. So I never hit see more. I never hit reply, show more, show all, because all of those clicks are exactly what they want you to do. And I am not going to be a sheep to their little farm. Okay. This is where I can get really conspiracy theory driven, and it's not a conspiracy if it's true. And everything that I know about technology started with my my PhD in instructional design that I dropped out on before getting my PhD, before doing my dissertation. I'm ABD on my PhD, but that means I know a lot about the behind the scenes of tech and why. And even though tech has changed a lot, the why has not. The prioritizing YouTube is because in an era of Google's new mission, which is not to send people to your site, and in fact, it is to rob your site of the information and thank you for it. It's why Google hates Substack. It's, these types of things are also why those other things exist. Because why does Substack need to exist when we all have places we could put up a blog post? And it's specifically because these newer places can help thwart or compete against some of what Google's about. YouTube, however, is still being prioritized by Google because Google owns YouTube. So of course, Google is still going to send people to YouTube when it comes to videos that answer the question, because right now, for now, AI cannot share a response at the top of your Google results that is a video that it created on the fly. It has to, if it's going to give you a video, send you to a video that was made by a human. For now, I am sure this will no longer be the case in a year. But for now, we have this window of opportunity that we can keep using Google as Google was originally built to do if we put stuff up on YouTube and then put the stuff that we want them to learn about us and move over to our website in the description. Did I blow your minds yet? Or is it like, it's too late, the blowing keeps blowing, we're all right? Okay, great. So this is why having a welcome sequence, nurture sequence, a set of emails that go out to the newcomer to your mailing list is so important. Someone wants to be able to keep up with your live streams. Of course, they're going to subscribe at YouTube. They're going to hit the bell. They're going to go to your events calendar, all the things that you'd sign up for your texts. These are all ways to get them to Discord, know that you're going live. But if you sign up for my mailing list, I actually have a goodie for you. And this is where, when I have that Q1 goal of having all of these tripwire things over at Flowdesk that serve the work I'm doing in YouTube, it's where I'm going to be able to say, instead of come join me for 44 days with Venus and here's your half off code, I'm going to be able to go, oh, the link for the slides from today or for the Decans mini course is, and then the URL is going to my Flowdesk where they can spend $11, or I may even do free versions of things, because then that's a lead magnet. And when they give me their email address, they then enter a world that has a hi, welcome. I'm so glad you joined me. Here's your free thing. And now let's build a relationship. And especially for people having books coming out, that is really important. Let me get you used to coming to me for the thing that my book is about, so that when my book comes out, there's no question that you are going to prioritize getting it and telling people about it. Because we want people to not just become our buyers, we want them to become our sellers. Because word of mouth is still the best way to get people excited about a thing, as we know by the #1 bestsellers sitting here in this Zoom right now, through word of mouth and incentivizing movements to buy at a certain time. We know it works. Okay. So how do we get people excited to be on your mailing list in a changing Google era? These are some of the ways. There's a lot more to say about this, but I want to pull back from it for a second and get into rules to never break and rules definitely to break. Before I do those, do you have questions or need clarification about anything on what I've said so far, or how it relates to you specifically? We're good. Okay, great. I'm still here. You can come up with it and say, oh no, I thought of it. This is not a limited time only offer, I promise. Okay, rules not to break. In email, every time you share a link, you are sending people away from your email, possibly to never return. And the more homeworky your emails feel, and sending people to a link that you think is helpful is homework for them. They come to you because they want you to be helpful, not send them to your sources. Like, here's a great 12-part course that I learned all about flow theory on. No, they don't want that. They want, here's what I learned from my flow theory expertise. No link. Only Virgos want the link. They want to go deeper. They want to experience more. And then Capricorns may be like, show your work. Like I could see that going that way too. But you want people to be into what you're doing with your email, which means you are not benefiting them by giving them places to go that they're going to see as work. And you're not benefiting yourself when you give them places to go that are not you. So the only links that you want to put in your email are links to things that are still you. And there is a rule about the number of asks in an email, and every link is an ask. Every link in an email is a, hey, will you click this for me? And the rule of asks is no more than 3 in the entire email. That means that social bar at the bottom that says, here's my Instagram, here's my YouTube, here's my whatever. Those are all asks. You've used them all up just by including the footer, which is why those have become invisible to people. They don't even notice them. But by the way, that's why when I did my my Capricorn new moon PDF, let me see if I can find that for y'all real quick to show, because this is actually really good. I mean, they're all good, of course, because me. All right. Tools, show, view, single pages. And then let me move this over in front of y'all. Oh my gosh, why do you have to use all of the real estate on this screen? It's so big. Okay, here is my Capricorn new moon PDF. I sent out an email that said, if you want this, click here. That's an ask, even though I'm giving them something. It's a give, but I asked them to click a link. So I've used up one of my asks. Okay. On the very first text page of Enjoy Your Goodies, I've got my 3 asks. Watch now, learn more. That's it. But then I have this bank. The only reason this bank exists is because someone is going to receive this PDF and it's going to be the first thing from me that they've gotten. But for everybody else, this is invisible. And I know that because each of you who saw this PDF ignored that whole bottom block because you're already in my world. You don't need any of that. And that's great. We got to remember that different eyes are going to land on our things. But when you've created a point of entry that is unique to a thing, so let's go back to YouTube. Today, we're going to discover the YouTube decans of YouTube. We're going to do the chart harmony decans of Pisces. If you want my Pisces decans freebie, click here. That goes to my flow desk, which then has the link to the freebie. And when that freebie is pulled, which they have to give their email address to do, there is a rule in my flow desk that says someone coming in from here gets tagged or gets segmented as came through Pisces Decans YouTube. Now, I don't do that level of granularity with Flowdesk, but it can be done. I used to do that with Entreport, which was who we used for a decade plus before we came to Flowdesk. The reason I'm not prioritizing like that in Flowdesk is because I want everyone in the main welcome sequence. I want everyone to get the same story of how I got in trouble growing up until I learned that my astrology was actually telling me a story. And do you want your own version of this card? Naomi, I owe you one. Do you want your own version of life card? Let me give you one. And so we have a whole system where people write in and give me their most intimate information, their birth information, in exchange for me doing one of these for them. And then I do that for them. And again, that intimacy, that connection, that trust, that, oh my God, I've never understood myself so well happens. And that can happen no matter what your book's about. There is a way that you have a way to connect your buyer / reader, your audience, with the thing that you've created and their lives. Because you wouldn't write the book otherwise. Of course, you have a way to help them connect those dots. And it is yours to connect those dots. And everything you do like that helps. So if I wanted to know that this PDF is only going to someone new to my mailing list, those tags are a way to do that. And only someone brand new is coming in through this door. And when they come in through this door to Flowdesk, they get tagged a certain way, and then they receive different assets that are designed for newcomers. But I don't use that level of granularity. You may choose to. But so this little bank of data right here, this information right here, becomes invisible to anyone. And I would say even any of you who downloaded this would be like, skim, because I know what Bonnie's saying. Let's get to the good stuff. And then they want to get to this. What does Capricorn do? What's my fill in the blanks? Like, oh, okay, like these little fun facts about Capricorn. And so, by the way, I'm going to be doing one of these every new moon for all of 2025. That's another of my commitments. So you see how I'm getting more like, let's put the Use Your Moons product together. We're going to have a monthly do the calendar together during the season, the sun season. There's going to be this new moon intention setting that goes with that season. People are going to be so. I've got a whole book of things that Bonnie has given me by the end of the year that, of course, I've got this actual book available for you on Amazon that makes it all even sweeter, is a no-brainer. So this is also, by the way, like this page, content from the Planet Planner. Because as I built the Planet Planner, I was creating the template for me to use for these assets, because I'm not going to build it once and then never use it again. I'm going to turn it into the template that helps me connect with people. And again, I give them chart harmony things. And what happens is people see this chart harmony stuff and go, can you just do it for me? I go, I can. I sure can. I sure can. Okay, great. Use your leftovers, you call it? Oh, I wouldn't. I don't. Leftovers gives me a not as loving vibe around it for me. But I get what your point is on that. Because for me, it's I am taking what worked, and I already have the data that backs up that worked, and then I am zhuzhing it and repackaging it in ways that make it work even better. Like I'm constantly refining and reiterating as we go. So number of asks, and then preview snippets, which I have a whole slide to show you about preview snippets. But first, we're going to say rules definitely worth breaking. Time of day to send emails. That's some bullshit that people say, oh, you want to make sure you send during these hours and you want to make sure you send on these days. And no, use planetary days of the week, use numerology, use the moon, use what works for you, use I'm inspired, I'm ready to do it now. There is no reason to bother with, I've got to stick to emails only go out at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday. Like, unless that works for you, that is definitely a rule worth breaking, because everybody's relationship with email, especially the people that we are connecting with, it's not corporate. It's not, I mean, and if your people are corporate, then you may want to be a little more rules beholden than others. But part of what is Blue Ocean strategy is do something different from everybody else. And again, when I show you the screen that's next, you're going to be able to go like, yeah, like that's a wall of nothing because everybody emailed at the exact same freaking time. Definitely rule worth breaking is, let me see. Number of emails to send in a certain amount of time. There are people who will say you always want, you want to send at least an email a week. So you want to try and do like 6 emails a month. There are people say you want to email 3 times before every live thing because you need them to come, da, da, da. When you're promoting your book, you need this many promotion emails in order to execute, blah, blah, blah. It's sort of how I feel about headshots. You know, actor headshots, big conversation my entire career. And everyone's like, how many headshots do I need? And I'm like, you only need the headshot that works, period. That's it. You don't need tons of headshots. You know, if it makes you feel good to have tons of headshots, sure. But what you need is the one headshot that works. And that feels so like, oh, but it's true. It's true, right? And so then finding the one that works, what is that process? Yeah, I love this, Gigi. I don't send emails during void moons or void of course moons. That is a really good rule to keep because void moons, things go unnoticed. Now, if you have a big email list, I like to send during void moons because I don't get as many unsubscribes. And with the size of my mailing list the way it is, I always get a lot of unsubscribes. Like every email I send, I get dozens of unsubscribes. And there was a time that used to break my heart. But you got to remember, I got like 12,000 people on my mailing list and I pruned that mailing list. If we had not pruned before we came over from Entreport, it would be around 50,000 right now. But then I would have 1,000 unsubscribes every email and like, hurts my heart. I already don't like 50 unsubscribes on an email, but a void moon, I will get like no unsubscribes, no marked as spam, you know, and the open rate is only different by maybe 5%. So it depends. If I want them to be able to see it, take action, do a thing, definitely I won't use a void moon. But if it's just a mention, it's a thing that I'm like, I don't care if you open this later or whatever, but I definitely want it to be in their inbox so that like policy change, price change, those kinds of things. Void moon's great for that. Makes people not as upset that you made a change. So it's really good there. Okay, so let's look at the snippet that I told you, or the preview snippets. So unsubbing during the onslaught of January emails. Yeah. It's a really good way to do it. So notice here, this is the inbox. Sorry, this is the filtered inbox for just people selling me things in a certain part of the space. Obviously, woo stuff and a little entrepreneur. So we'll call this the woo entrepreneur filter in my junk Gmail account. I have a Gmail account that I started at the beginning of Gmail, and it is what I use to sign up for everything. And because I use it to sign up for everything, I go visit it maybe once, twice a week to just make sure that I'm not missing anything, blah, blah, blah. But so this is also how I know when someone signs me up for something that I didn't ask for, because they use a proper email address. And I will always say, please unsubscribe this email address and change it to my one that likes automation. This email address is human to human, and thank you for respecting that. I get really mad when someone adds my human to human email address to a non-human thing, which is a mailing list is non-human, even though, no, I put my humanness into it. I do. It doesn't matter. For me, I like an email address that does nothing but this. But I want you to see all of these arrived, of course, on December 31st, and I could have taken a much larger screenshot to show you way, 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 way more emails that landed during this peak emailing time. So emailing on December 31st is not blue ocean strategy. It's getting in there with everybody. It's red ocean. It's like the shark, the chum in the water, everybody's there. How are you going to stand out? And so the how are you going to stand out that I love of this is the preview snippet. So the preview snippet is that bit of text that you get to add to your email specifically to show here these things. Okay. And so if all you do in that space is basically say the same thing as your subject line, you wasted the real estate. For a long time in Entreport, my subject would be here, and then my preview text was auto-filling from the first image in my email. And in Entreport, it was living my dreams by helping others figure out how to live theirs, because it was my banner from my old website of the pencil drawing that Sherry did of me sitting on the floor up against my name in a really pretty web font. So I actually received an email from someone who I know from the entrepreneur / showbiz space. And he wrote and he said, he took a screen grab and he said, I just want to show you, you're missing an opportunity by not changing your preview text. And so I started getting in the habit of changing my preview text. And I also started noticing what are people using and what works. And so I want to show you the best one that came on December 31st. First of all, that means I'm replying to you. She's not replying to me. I never emailed with this chick. I don't know her, but she started the email off with so it looks like she replied to me. And this is almost all lowercase, a new practice for the new year. So as if I reached out to her to say, I'm looking for a new practice for the new year. And she has written me back to answer me about it. And then she ninjally used the preview text to say, sent from my iPhone. That is her brilliant way of making me go, am I emailing with Deborah Silverman? And she got back to me on her phone? What is this? And I'm going to click it. She didn't write me from her iPhone. She sent this from she's got 100,000 people on her mailing list, and everybody got that. But that right there is blue ocean strategy. If you're going to email during red ocean time, using a blue ocean strategy like that subject line and that preview snippet is pretty genius. And you can look at these and see, like, what am I not into? Can I coach you? That one's actually pretty good. That's doing a similar thing. Course starts tomorrow and the word commit. Nope, I'm out. But Gretchen Rubin is emailing people who are mostly obligers. And that right there is bait. If she were smart, she would customize this based on the for tendency result of the person receiving. And knowing I'm an upholder, she would not use that. Because I don't need to commit to you or anybody else. That's more rebel than what upholder would say. But upholder is not driven by, oh, she said commit, I owe her something. That's obliger stuff. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Gretchen Rubin, For Tendencies, and her superior book, Better Than Before, fantastic. This, anytime there's a number, like a list, that's going to be easy to click, because you're like, oh, you just made my life easy. You gave me a list of things. But this use right here, last day to do star sync, and then image. Hi, Bon. Rebecca, you got 1 million people on your mailing list. Womp womp. You could do better. This month we focus on, and I'm like, do I want to know? I don't know, because I don't really know. I don't know who Megan Haggerty is, actually. I've already forgotten. If I signed up for something, I don't remember. Let's see. Big congratulations to my friend Ramit. This is, Ramit's got a new book. Ramit Sethi has a new book called Money for Couples, and Mike is probably making money helping shill for his book. That's fine. 50% off ends in ... sale ends in ... This is redundant. This is redundant. Final new moon, Capricorn new moon, and a special invitation resend. Does that resend make me feel like, oh, I didn't open her last one? No, because she does this every email. Every email she includes in her parentheses resend. And that's her way of making you go, oh shit, I missed the first one. I better open this. Tactics, tactics, tactics. I would love for you to start looking at your inbox through this lens of, what do I find worth a click and why? And do I want to do that, or do I want to do the opposite of that because I kind of don't like what manipulation is being used there? Okay. Again, more on this in JFDI for those of you who will be present for that. Next, I want to make sure, let's see, did I get everything that I wanted to get on that? I did. Okay, great. Questions, of course, are about to come. I want to, I've now added down here, published, yay, Gigi, Kathy, and then to declare down here. And then here is, you are published, And Jean says, I personally would unsubscribe to all of these, even Deborah Silverman, who I do know. Yeah, right. But for me, it is always pattern tracking and what works and what doesn't, and zigging when they zag. So for me, I am way more tolerant of the newsletters, not because I'm a consumer of newsletters, but because that's my competition. And I got to keep an eye on, how do I make sure I show up in a way that can stand out in that inbox? So anybody else who would like to come up with a publication declaration, let's do it. If Kathy, Gigi, you have a second, third, fourth, fifth book you want to do while we're still in this year together, let's declare it and get it up here. I'm fine with that. Of course, Jean, you have our next update for your podcast launch. So we want to make sure that in these coming meetings, we're doing everything we can to support you with that. And then as always, we do the, what are your issues on this map and how can we help? And our next meeting is on Monday, the 20th of January, because I personally have zero other plans at that exact time. Do not give a shit at all about watching the inauguration. Okay, let me see what else is in my preview to make sure. Yes, I'm going to save that to share next time, because that I think is a little overloaded, and the effective snippet. Oh yeah, I saved a version not embedded in my slide in case y'all need bigger text. And then of course I didn't open it until now. But if you need it now, there's the bigger text. But I think you got the point as we walked through it all together. All right, cool. Questions, comments, thoughts, yes ands, stuck places, declarations, shares, what you got?
I have a question.